Good morning. This is White Raptor News Ministries. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the living one, the authority, the author, the one that writes all things in place, or should I say thinks all things into place. I watched this video last night and it was so damn good. I just knew I had to share it with you this morning. More on the truth of others who prove with scriptures that Jesus, Satan, appears as an angel of light. So let's not waste any time with this and jump right into this lesson here.
So this morning I would like to answer a belligerent individual who has been sending me messages on YouTube, and I will do this in order to cover some territory concerning truth, what is and isn't truth, what is factual and what is not. And so a comment concerning this particular video that I did, Constantine Creed injects venomous anti-Semitic curse into all Christians. And of course, folks, this fellow is no exception. He has the anti-Semitic curse injected into him by Constantine's creed. And so he says, well, he can't even spell Revelation right, but anyway, Revelation 3 verse 9, Hebrews 9 verses 13 through 14, calm down before you get spanked, Rabbi. And it's not rabbi, it's rabbi in Hebrew, no matter what the English language tries to tell you. And so I answer with this. There is only one Rabbi, and that is Yehoshua, the Savior of the 12 tribes of Israel. Hebrews 8, verses 8 through 12. Checkmate, now go spank yourself. He answers with this. Yes, in that chapter, Paul describes how God has made a new covenant with the Gentiles. What? And the world, since the Jews have rejected Christ. If you agree that Jesus Christ is God come in the flesh, we have no qualms, brother. And so I answer this way. The house of Israel is the northern 10 tribes of Israel. The house of Yehuda is Yehuda, and Benjamin is not the Gentiles. The whole book of Hebrews, Paul was speaking to Hebrews, which is why the book is called Hebrews. Yehoshua was procreated by Jehovah Elohim. So it is impossible that this impostor Jesus, who according to history was born 834 BCE, the sun idol of the Druids, replaced the true Yehoshua. So as long as I agree with you, we have no qualms. You also suggested that I was going to get spanked. Is all this supposed to be some kind of a threat? You do realize it is very bad for your health to go around threatening people. Take my advice and find some humility very quickly, or you will stand, or you of the Laodicean creed will find yourself standing on the outside while the 12 tribes of Israel is rejoicing on the inside. Now, so addressing first, is Hebrews 8 verses 8 through 12. Let's get that out of the way first. We will go to, or do I already have it up here? I don't know if I do or not. Hebrews 9. We can just, he has the Hebrews 9, we'll go and address Hebrews 8 and 9, okay? Now, who's he speaking to? He's speaking to Hebrews, which means he's speaking to the Jews. start in verse 8. For finding fault with them. With the who? The Israelites, the Hebrews. He said, Jehovah said, behold, the days come, says not the Lord, but Jehovah, when I will make a new covenant with the church and the church. Right? Wrong. With the house of Israel and with the house of Yehudah. Not according to the covenant which I made with their forefathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. Because they continued not in my covenant, so I turned my back on them, says Jehovah, or regarded them not. This is the covenant that I will make with the what? With the whole house of Israel. In the after part. Says Jehovah, I will put my Torah in their mind and write them in their heart, and I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. They shall no longer teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know Jehovah, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest, and I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. All right? And where does that come from? That comes from Jeremiah 31. And I know you Christians love to say that the words of the prophets don't matter anymore. Why then did the disciples speak the words of the prophets then, if they don't matter anymore? And if you don't listen to the disciples, then you don't listen to the truth. This is concerning Israel. At the same time says, not the Lord, Jehovah. You see that? Jehovah. I will be Elohim of all the clans of Israel, and they shall be my people. So where was Hebrews 8, verses 8 through 12? So it would start in Jeremiah 31, verses 31 through 34. Behold, the days come, says who? Is it the Lord? No, it's Jehovah. You can see it right there. I will make a new. Kadosh means new. Covenant with the house of Israel. Nowhere does it say the church. And with the house of Yehudah. You see that? Yehudah. Not according to the covenant I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. This word for word what Paul said. He said it to who? The Hebrews. Which my covenant they broke. When I was a husband to them, says Jehovah. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel and after those days. After what days? Read Yoel 2 and Yoel 3. Especially Yoel 2 verses 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And that is those 4 verses in Yoel 2 sets the plate, sets the table for Yoel 3, which you absolutely need to read. That will be the redemption of all Israel. Says Jehovah, I will put my Torah, all right, you see that? What does that say? Torah in their inward parts, and write it in their heart, and will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And they shall no longer teach every man his brother or his neighbor, saying, Know Jehovah, for they shall all know me from the least of them unto the greatest of them. And you Christians, you try to say, no, this is the church. Can't be done, folks. So, he was right here, Hebrews 8, verses 8 through 12, he was saying that chapter, Paul describes how, as he said, God had made a new covenant with the Gentiles. Nope. Nope. Just proven that it's a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Yehuda. You cannot mistake the one for the other. You cannot mistake the house of Israel and the house of Yehuda for the Gentiles. Can't be done. Now, you can delude yourself, and this is what the Constantine Christians have done. Now, so Hebrews 9 is an extension of Hebrews 8. Context, folks. So therefore, Hebrews 9 is also an extension of Jeremiah 31. Now he goes, let's address this Revelation 3 and verse 9, where the churches love to accuse the Jews of being the synagogue of Satan. All right. Here it is right here. To the messenger of the ecclesia in Philadelphia, write these things, says he that is holy, he that is true, he that has the key of David, not the key to Rome. The key of David is Jerusalem, and the Constantine religion is the key to Rome. The Roman holidays, as the Constantine Creed says. And he opens a door that no man shuts, and shuts and no man opens. That's when the Moshiach comes to Jerusalem. He is going to open the door to these Gentiles, to all Israel, and to these particular Gentiles who do what? For you have a little strength, and you have kept my word. What is his word? You shall love Jehovah Elohim, not the Lord your God, but Jehovah Elohim with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with all of your mind. And you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Who is your neighbor? Well, according to Paul in Romans 11, the neighbor of the Gentiles is the Jew. So you shall love the Jew with all of your heart, with all of your love the Jew as you would yourself. I'm sorry. And has not denied my name. What is his name? What was the name that was given to him? And it says, behold, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan, which say that they are Jews. They call themselves spiritual Israel, but they are not, and they lie. I will make them to come and worship before your feet to know that I have loved you. Now, we're going to address not denied my name. What is his name? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We will go to Luke 1. Let's find out what his name is. Straight from Jehovah's mouth. From the mouth of Gabriel, who sent a message from Jehovah's mouth. Verse 31, and behold, you shall conceive, or you have conceived, in your womb, and bring forth a son, and you shall call his name, is it Jesus? Those of you who think it is, you're wrong. It is Yehoshua. Not contracted to Joshua. It does not mean Yahweh saves. It means Jehovah is salvation. Yehoshua means salvation. And it's a compound word. And you may not, I repeat, you are not allowed to replace that name. Because if you do, you are denying his name. Who denies his name? Those who replace his name. So who is he speaking of in, where was I? In Revelation 3. Because you have not denied my name. So these particular ones of the Ecclesia of Philadelphia, in spite of them trying to, the Greeks around them trying to force Zeus worship, they refused anything having to do with Zeus, including Jesus. And so who are these of the synagogue of Satan that he's talking about? Well, the word synagogue is of Greek origin. It is a Greek word. It is not Hebrew. The Greek word synagogue is an assembly congregation, either the place or a people gathered together in a place. It is a Greek word. Has no origin in Hebrew. So to try to say that somehow it is associated with the Jews is a damnable slander. Look, I'll even show you. Origin. All right. Do you see anywhere in here that it has an origin in Hebrew? You can't. In fact, it appears to be the reference to the sun idol. Now, so let's have a look at the sun idol. It's in reference to this guy. But who is this Jesus anyway? And what are these sun idols and halos are associated with? Well, they are associated with Greek idols, Greek and Roman idols. And they are associated with Apollyon and Helios. Apollo is Apollyon. Apollinaris was one of the legions who came and sacked Jerusalem. Roman idol. All right. Sun symbols. Let's have a look at them, shall we? These are all pagan. And this particular sun symbol is a Nazi sun symbol. It is also a symbol of the 8-pointed star of Ishtar. And if you want to see another 8-pointed star of Ishtar, all you have to do is look at the British Union Jack, and you have essentially the same thing. This is all evil, folks. And the Hakenkreuz is a crooked Christian cross. It is Christian in origin, what you call the swastika. The swastika is not a German word. It is an Indian word. But the Germans called what the English people call swastika day the Hakenkreuz. It is the hooked Christian cross. It's a cross. It is a symbol of evil. Now, this particular article on Wikipedia, I highlighted this particular portion in several major Indo-European religions. The swastika, and remember, swastika is a Indian word, not a German word. Symbolizes lightning bolts representing the thunder god, pagan origin, and the king of the gods. Who is the king of the gods? Such as Indra in Vedic Hinduism. Now, Zeus in the ancient Greek symbol. So this is Zeus and Jupiter, which is Satan. I will show you. What the synagogue of Satan was. And the cross is Zeus's symbol. And Thor in the ancient Germanic religion. The symbol is found in the archaeological remains of the Indus Valley civilization and Samarra, as well in early Byzantine and Christian artwork. So the Christians, the Nicene Constantine Christians, adopted this symbol of Zeus. Who is Zeus? Why is Pergamon called Satan's throne? The reference to Satan's throne is thought by many scholars to refer as the great altar of Zeus, the man of the cross, Zeus. You just read it. I just showed it to you. Renowned throughout the Roman world, that stood at the summit of Pergamus Acropolis. So if we go back to, let me bring this over. Oh, what just happened? Well, it just deleted it. But anyway, we just read. And so this is why the synagogue of Satan is the altar of Zeus, folks. And Zeus is a man of the cross. This is what you Christians adopted, the cross of Zeus in your artwork in the Byzantine days, and it has continued.
Don't forget that cross is the key to death in Hades. Wear that baby around your neck, you're going straight to hell.
All right. And when the righteous kings of ancient Yehuda took power. And the first things that they did, and Gideon did, they burned down all of the groves and all of the houses of worship of the idols. What did Christians do? Phidias workshop ruins built in 430 BCE to house the statue of Zeus. Did they tear the house of Satan down? No, they didn't. They entered into the house of Satan and turned it into a church. Now you can go on YouTube. It's a 10-minute long video. Full screen is unavailable. Okay, so scientists found Zeus's god temple that has been, it's in Pergamus. Okay, they have the whole deal about it. That, just type this in to your YouTube and you can watch it and you will see what the altar of Zeus was, what the Satan's seat was. In Pergamus. Now, watch this. Now if we go to Revelation 2, we see the messenger of the church, of the ecclesia in what? Pergamus. Pergamus. Says these things, who has the sharp sword with two edges. I know your works and where you dwell, where Satan's seat is, in Pergamus. And that particular video, look for it, find it, you will see that, guess what? That was the seat of Satan. Jews were not worshiping at that place. In fact, Jews wouldn't even be allowed to worship there. There were Gentiles, falsely calling themselves spiritual Israel. Now look what it says here. I know your works, where you dwell, where Satan's seat is. And even they, at that time, held fast to his name, and have not denied my faith, like the people of Philadelphia. Even in those days when Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwells. But I have some things against you. What? What is that? Because you have them there to hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed to idols, and commit fornication. You also have them to hold the doctrine of Nicholas, which I hate. Repent, or I will come unto you quickly, and will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. He's threatening to come to the churches to fight against them with the sword from his mouth. Are you paying attention? Are you listening? Now, where was I? I was right there. So let's go to the next one. I think I was just here too. The cross took many forms before Christianity imagined the symbol. So the cross never was a righteous symbol. It was a symbol of idolatry. eating things sacrificed to idols, and committing fornication, which is turning from Yehoshua, the true Mashiach, to a false idol. The two commonly seen forms were the tall cross and the swastika. The swastika first appeared in Eurasia and was adopted by some African and American cultures. The symbol represented peace and well-being and is a cross with arms at the end at right angles, all facing the same rotary direction. The swastika, a significant symbol in Hinduism, also appears in ancient Greek religion, representing Zeus as lightning bolts. Okay? These are all pagan symbols. All right? Went over that. Went over this. Now, on Wikipedia, I highlighted this. Later Christian traditions about Jesus were probably influenced by Greco-Roman religion. And indeed, we just watched the videos. The past two videos. If you haven't seen them, you should. Where they rejected all things Jewish, and in order to be a Christian, you had to accept and obey and partake of all of the Roman holidays. So to reject everything Jewish would be to reject Shem Yehovah, Yehoshua, and accept the new names like Deus and Jesus, or God and Jesus.
Jesus. Hate that name.
And mythology. Some of Jesus' traditional iconography is apparently derived from Mediterranean deities such as Hermes, Asclepius, Serapis, and Zeus, Satan himself. And his traditional birthday on December the 25th. So when you celebrate this Jesus birthday, you are actually celebrating Zeus's birthday, and Zeus, we just proved today, is Satan himself. And you Christians, therefore, worship at the synagogue of Satan, since synagogue has never been associated with the Jews anyway. It is your house of worship, O Christian.
So let me touch something real quick here that he mentioned, because he brought up the 25th, he brought up Christmas. And I think that this is important to understand. Okay, Santa Claus comes up to 666, all right? And Santa Claus's anagram, Santa, is Satan. Okay? So you have Satan that's coming down the chimney through the fire on the same day as Jesus. Hold on. Just a quick connection here for you. Isaiah 14:12. How you've fallen from heaven, O day star. So you have Lucifer, who's the bearer of light. All right, remember, Lucifer is the bearer of light, a Dahmerite, son of the dawn. What is the son of the dawn? The dawn is the rising star. You have been cut down to the ground, O destroyer of nations. The nations are a foreign nation, hence the Gentile. Gentile here, also a troop of animals or a flight of locusts, images of troops marching in ranks. These are your Gentile nations. These are your troops of animals. These are murderers. Okay? They go into other countries. Well, not all of them. Some of them defend their country, but America seems to be one of the only countries that thinks it's going to police the world. And the backbone of America is going to get broken this time around, folks, because you guys are all worshiping the devil. So you have Santa Claus that comes to 666, okay, and Christos, which comes to 666, and Christos is from the etymology of Hebrew, comes to Christos, the Christ, or Christ is the last one that is used in the name, because the translation comes from Greek to Latin to English. So in Greek, they called Christ the Christos. Again, Greek, right here. Everything that the Greeks touched and put their hands on is an abomination to the Supreme Spirit. Revelations 22:16 Bible Hub. So this ties Lucifer and Jesus in. I, Jesus, have sent my angel to give you this testimony for the churches. This man, this brilliant man, has clearly showed you that nothing was ever sent for the church. It was sent to the children of Israel, Yehoshua. I am the root and offspring of David, the bright morning star. The bright morning star, folks, is the sun that rises each morning. That is the bright morning star. Jesus is the bright morning star, the sun. It's sun worship. How you've fallen from heaven, O day star. The day star is the morning star. So this is comparing Satan as the star, and Jesus tells you he is the morning star. All right? I didn't write this, okay? I'm just sharing information with you. I never stop watching other people's content. I mean, most times when I start watching people's content, I have to leave the room because it's just garbage. It's the same stuff. Do you realize how horrifying it is for me today to listen to people shove this name Jesus down your throat when you have a brilliant man like this that's teaching you the name, the true name of the Creator, or Yeshua, who is a Hebrew Israelite. And also, real quick, if you come down here where I was in the comment section, I said, what does it mean that Judah mourns and her gates thereof languish? Their faces are dark to the ground, and their cries go up to Jerusalem. My understanding is that Israel is a nation of black people with their faces to the ground. You, my friend, are white. Now, I'm not saying you can't be Israel, because Israel has been crossbreeding with the Gentile since the very beginning. What's your take? This isn't the first time I've asked him this question. And, you know, what's kind of funny is anytime I ask Christians, they dance around this garbage all day long. Let me show you something. Look at this. This woman here, Anna Pauline O'Grady. Wow, she took down she took down the video, I guess. Ain't that funny? It was a 4th of July video. But, yeah, I guess I was going to respond to all these this morning. But clearly I can't respond to them now because she's taking them down. That shows you fear, okay? Because I say the same thing to her, that Israel is a nation of people with their faces dark to the ground, okay? What's another one? Here we have another one, Songs of Solomon. I am dark yet lovely, O daughters of Jerusalem, like the tents of Kedar, like the curtains of Solomon. Hold on. There are your tents of Kedar, folks. They got white stripes in them with black All right? So the tents of Kedar are black. And any time that I mention this to a Caucasian man, and I've mentioned this parable to him 3 different times, he doesn't address it. Also, he wears the Star of David on his shoulder. Okay? And the Star of David is equated with Christmas when they put that star on top of your Christmas tree. So I like this guy. I like his lessons. I like what he teaches. But like everything, folks, even possibly myself, I try to teach 100% the truth. But I could be wrong about things. I'm not here to mislead anybody. I'm simply sharing scriptures, and I'm watching content, and I come across videos like this, and they're completely awesome videos. This is an awesome video. So let's finish it out. We got a few more minutes left. We're going to go ahead and finish this off.
Because his traditional date is on December the 25th, which was not declared as such until the 5th century, was at one point named a holiday in honor of the Roman sun god Sol Invictus.
Also, look at that word soul, Sol Invictus. Soul, this is how they S-O-U-L in English. But this is the soul of man. The seed is the soul of man. All right? And this is why the word, here you go, let me show you. Definition of soldier. This is why you have the word die in soldier. Because when you go off to war and you sling a sword, or you shoot down other people, or you get a bullet between your own eyes, your soul dies. You are dead eternally. Why? Because the Supreme Spirit says that you're not to kill. Now, there's a lot that could be said about that, because I've argued many times that the Lord, Yahweh, which is a man of war, sends his children into battle. And he told them straight off the ark that you're not to kill. And then he sends his children into battle to destroy cities, to kill all the women, to kill all the children, to dash heads against the rocks. And personally myself, that doesn't sound right, to dash a child's head against the rocks. Now, granted, I must say that the Gentile have done just that. Gentiles have dashed God's chosen children's heads against the rocks. So you will be paid in full what you have done. Why? Let's see. Let me think. Images of Shem, Japheth, and Ham. You fuckers. Sorry about that. Here you go. You can clearly see the tribe of Shem is a very black man. Ham, them, black. Japheth, there's your Pope right there. The ones that are in control, the ones that are in power. Yeah, is that Angelina Jolie in there? But here, who's that? That's Yehoshua. All right? That is a black man. And the children of the Most High are a nation of black people. And you want, every time you mention this to a Christian, they'll start giving that spiel about, well, it doesn't matter whether Jesus is black or white. This is a spiritual war. It does matter whether Jesus is black and white. If it didn't matter what color Jesus was, then why did they take a black man here, a black man, and turn him into a white man on a cross? And also, Jesus wasn't crucified on a cross. He was hung on a tree. And it's that simple. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the Living One. I'm always going to have a problem by calling the Supreme Creator by a name, regardless of who's teaching. I don't know it. I don't know the Supreme Creator's name. I know Romans 3:4 Bible Hub, which says, certainly not, let God be true and every man a liar. That's every man. That is without fail, every man on the face of this earth a liar. Not that people, once they learn the truth and start walking in the truth, that they lie anymore, but we all have to go through an awakening, and we all have to have the scales removed for our eyes before we can start to see. So if all men are liars, every man, then that would also include, I'm sorry to say, the house of Israel. Their men are liars as well. Now, they walked through the sin, they learned, they came out of their transgressions, they turned back to the Lord, and that was the whole purpose. Okay, Jesus was sent as a messenger. He was sent as a prophet to bring a message. He is not the God. As you saw in this man's lesson, he is a God. We are gods, all of us, gods. This is what Jesus wanted us to know, or Yeshua wanted us to know, that we are all equal to one another. Not one man should ever be above another, and that all of us should be yielding to the Supreme Spirit of Truth. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Much love. This is White Raptor News Ministries.